So this is a video which asks the question, can you build with the Corsair H110i and the MSI Z170a Gaming Pro Carbon motherboard? It's a question that I had. I asked the suppliers that provide the products that I've been buying. They weren't really able to answer the question just because there's so many components to choose from. This is for the Intel microprocessor. It's a little bit unclear from the documentation whether it works with the LGA 1151 socket, but it does actually after a little bit of research. So I'm going to demonstrate how you would use this with the MSI Pro Carbon. To start with, the best thing to do always is to consult the documentation. And here you can see the documentation for the Intel. You can see that basically this should work on, according to the documentation, the LGA 1150, 1155, 1156, but there is no mention of 1151, so that led to a little bit of confusion. Looks like the LGA 2011 also will work, but that does not need the back mounting bracket. So in addition, if you do decide to build with the Corsair H110i, when you first get this back plate, which you need to use to mount to the back of the socket, you'll notice that it doesn't quite fit. And that's a little bit confusing, and that's one of the reasons I called my supplier to see, well, what exactly is going on here. How can you actually use this? I thought maybe I bought the wrong product. They suggested that I actually go and buy an AMD mountable one, and of course that would have been even more wrong than I was already. So basically what happens, I did watch a video by BYO Gaming, and they basically cleared it up, but they were using an Asus motherboard. But it's basically the same concept. The main thing to realize is that these little sockets here, they actually move in and out. And so my confusion was when I first was using this, and of course you don't really know exactly how to put it on without seeing a good video. Of course I'm always making sure I don't have static. But if you do this, you'll see that, well, it doesn't quite fit. Well, one of the reasons it doesn't fit is it's adjustable, so these things actually slide, and you're going to want to kind of slide these down. And I think in the case of the MSI Pro Carbon, you probably need to slide these down a little bit, and then they actually do fit. And you have to do the same thing for, so it's going to take a little bit of finagling, so I'm going to have to maybe adjust this, placing this like this, although I don't want to do that too much because I do have the memory in the on the other side, so I want to cause as minimal stress on the memory as possible. So once again, I'm going to just put this here, and hopefully I get this guy to mount properly. And you don't really want to scrape. Okay, so it took a lot of finagling to get the back plate of the H110i, the Corsair cooling system, onto this MSI Z170a Gaming Pro Carbon motherboard. So I had to do most of it off camera, but I want to show you the end result. It does turn out that pretty much the MSI mounting is the smallest that the back plate can go, and I even had to bend the back plate a little bit just to get it all four of the sockets in there. So it was much more like I could really do on camera. So I'm not going to take it out now, but I am going to show you what things are looking like on the other side. Now this video, we are not going to actually finish the mounting. We're not going to put the thermal paste on because we're still outside the motherboard, or we're still outside the case, and I don't want to get us in a situation where we can't actually get the motherboard inside the case that we have. So anyway, I do want to show you that this is for the LGA 1151, this is the bracket, or I should say the standoff that you want. Not sure if you can see that well. So I'm just going to show you that it actually screws in here. Now that I have the back plate on, it's pretty easy to just screw this in. You can probably use a proper wrench. I'm just going to finger tighten for now because this is really not finishing, but this is just a proof of concept that you can actually mount this on the MSI Z170a Pro Carbon. And then of course this part would normally go over the cooling system, and I'm not putting it on right now, but I'm just going to basically show you how it would be. You know, if you did have the cooling apparatus in place, it would be under there. You'd have the thermal paste in place, and then of course you're going to use these mounting nuts here to basically tighten everything in place. And of course, it's a little bit better to do this with a screwdriver. So we have this little magnet here that can magnetize our screwdriver and make sure that you know, that we can actually get this thing mounted properly. So we'll be doing this once again after we get the whole motherboard into the system, into the case, and we'll do it probably after we do the first smoke test. So this is just really to show you how this would mount, but this is not the proper way to install this, because this will be the last thing you do once you get all the fans into your system and the cooling apparatus. But the main thing is, you know, my question is answered at this point because I can actually mount this onto the MSI Pro Carbon, and that was the main purpose of this video.